friends, and welcome to another week of sharing Christmas cards in July. It's Vicky Wright, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator, Australia. I'm just trying to get this all skew-whiff and squared away. Just bear with me. Okay, so let's see how we go anyhow. Okay, so this week is where Robbie and myself are going to be sharing, or not this week, this month. Robbie from Creations in Paper and myself are sharing Christmas cards throughout the month of July. Now, I don't have any Christmas sets except for the very best occasions. I do have another set coming, so you will have a new set to see. So we're going to be using this one again, and we're going to be playing with the Waves of Inspiration, but we're only going to use the little bird or the seagull. And we're going to be playing with our, what's it called, Sailboat Builder, is that what it's called, the punch? It's in the annual catalogue. And we're going to play with Bright and Beautiful DSP. Okay, so we'll just grab our kit. So this is a pretty easy card to do. And again, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but if it doesn't turn out, it doesn't turn out. If it does, it does. That's a bonus. So I've got a piece of the Bright and Beautiful. I just thought this looked like the ocean, this piece. So we're going to use this piece. And we're just going to stick this piece onto a layer of basic white cardstock. Now all the measurements and list of supplies, PDF tutorial, with step-by-step instructions, as well as the link to this video, will be on my blog, and the link to the post is below. Okay, so that's that done. So that's done. Then what we're going to do, now I've already burnished my base card. Decided to go tent fold, but we're going to go landscape, if that makes sense. So it's thick basic white, and we're going to stick a piece of night and navy to the top. You could emboss this piece if you wanted to, but I decided just to leave it as is, which means we won't be using our stamp and cut machine, stamp and cut and emboss machine. It's pretty basic, and well, it won't be basic, but straightforward today. And it's one that you can easily create, we hope. Then we'll bring in our punch. Now I've got a scrap of night and navy. So we're going to do our mask and the hole with the night and navy cardstock. So we'll put these aside, we don't want those. So I'm thinking we do it sort of there, like that. I'll stick that down. First up, what we're going to do is grab a piece of scrap basic white, punch out our masks, I seem to be all fingers today, so that goes there like that, and that goes there like that. Okay, I just want to make sure that I've got them around the right way. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our sponge dollars, and we're going to do these in I think Daffodil Delight, and we'll use pumpkin pie, eh? Oops. I've got a big thick coat on today. It's cold here, well, for me anyhow. So, okay, so we'll do this one in pumpkin pie. And we're just going to daub ink over the pumpkin pie. Yep. Over our mask. Take off your excess, and we're just going to go over the top. Just daubing ink over this mask. I hope you've enjoyed week 1. It's interesting actually, because I don't have any Christmas stamps. It's been a challenge, but in saying that, it's been a good challenge to relook at my stamp sets with a new set of eyes to see what I could use. And a challenge is always good, and it just shows too that you can stretch your stamp sets or any of your product just that little bit further. So that's one done. Then we're going to bring in Daffodil Delight, and we're just going to do the same thing. Just lightly dabbing that colour. You could use a mask on these if you wanted to. That would probably turn out quite interesting. Then all I'm going to do is just lightly sponge the colour, even it out a little bit, by just going around in small circles. So I just want it to look smooth. Just like that. And I like the variation in the colours, so we'll leave it like that. And I'll put that aside, close that up. Bring in our boat, and we're just going to, oops, I'm just going to stick our yacht or our sailboat to our DSP layer. Just like that. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll pop these up. So I'll just grab some, I think we'll use the minis. That way we can add them sort of towards the top a little bit further. just put one here, which I probably don't need, but I'll do it anyhow. Just put that down there. I never press anything down until I'm happy with the placement. And then I press it down, but I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute or two until we do this other one. And we'll just put that one just there like that. And then I'm just going to press it down. Then what we're going to do is bring in our sentiment, because I want to stamp, we want to stamp the sentiment before we put it on our card, onto our base card, okay? So, I always stamp on the scrap paper first, just to make sure that it's nice and straight, especially when you're stamping direct onto your DSP or whatever. So just bear with me, this may be out of eyesight for a little bit. Fingers crossed. Yeah. My pad needs a little bit of ink. Re-inked it again. Then we'll do a couple of our birds in, whoops, that would have been a disaster. Oops. I thought I was being so good too. Okay. We'll cover those up, I think. And that's it. Then what we're going to do is, I'm thinking we might pop this up, I think. It's a very non-traditional Christmas card again, but it could also be a great birthday card too, if you wanted to. I'm just going to quickly pop this up. One more for good measure. Bring our base card in and pop it up like that. Now, because I've made these boo-boos here, what I think we might do is grab a couple of let's grab grab a couple of our maybe festive pearls and see how we go, eh? I'm thinking along the lines of the silver. One. Whoops. See if I can cover that up more. Maybe I could have put another bird there. And we'll put another one here. I think that's all we need. And I think the silver makes it a little bit more Christmassy, as well as finishes it off a little bit. So I'll put that aside. I've got a scrap of the same piece of paper, and all we're going to do now is chop this, randomly chop it. Into two pieces. We're going to grab a piece of basic white again, and we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back. Stick this down that side. What am I chasing? Our scissors. Chop that off. The glue doesn't want to even play this morning. Now you could have laid this piece of basic white onto night and navy if you wanted to, but I like the white on white. And then we're going to grab our envelope, if I can find it. Do with it. And we're going to do the same. Just like that, and chop that off, and that's our envelope done. Easy peasy. And then that's our card. So if you click on the link below, it'll take you a link to my blog where you'll find the PDF tutorial, as well as a link to Robbie's blog where she will show you what she created for today, and she'll also have a link to her YouTube as well. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you Tuesday. Okay, see ya. Hooray.